Welcome to this Science Explorer. In the last part, we learned 6 important terms used when planning a science experiment. We learned that the aim explains what we are trying to find out, while the hypothesis predicts what might happen. We also learned about variables. The independent variable is what we deliberately change, the dependent variable is what we measure or observe, and the control variables are the factors we keep the same. Now that we understand how an experiment is planned, we need to think about the quality of the investigation and its results. In this video, we will focus on 4 important terms: fair test, accuracy, precision, and reliability. Let us begin. All right, let's dive right into our first super important concept, the fair test. You can think of a fair test kind of like the golden rule of science. It's basically an investigation where only one factor, the independent variable, is deliberately changed by you, the scientist. Meanwhile, you're measuring or observing the dependent variable. But here's the secret to making it totally fair. Every single other factor, those are our control variables, must be kept exactly the same. By keeping everything else identical, we know for absolute certain that any changes we're seeing are caused by that one thing we chose to alter. So, suppose you want to investigate how the amount of fertilizer affects plant growth. The only thing we change here is the amount of fertilizer each plant gets. But look at all the things we keep exactly the same: the type of plant, the kind of soil, the amount of water, the size of the pot, the sunlight, and the growing time. We treat every single plant like an identical twin, except for that fertilizer. Because we kept all those other factors equal, well, this is a perfect fair test. Now, what's really interesting is seeing what happens when we, make a little mistake. Imagine if we gave one plant more fertilizer, but we also put it by a brighter window so it got way more sunlight. Suddenly, our test becomes completely unfair. If that plant grows taller, we've got a big problem. We wouldn't actually know if it was the extra fertilizer that made it grow, or the extra sunlight, or maybe a combination of both. An unfair test just leaves scientists guessing, and as you know, scientists don't like to guess, they like to know for sure. Let's look at another quick example to really lock this in. Imagine we want to know how water temperature affects the time it takes for sugar to dissolve. To make this a fair test, we change only the water temperature. We keep the amount and type of sugar, the volume of water, the container, and even how fast we stir it exactly the same. This kind of meaningful comparison is super powerful because it helps us connect any changes in that dissolving time directly and undeniably to the water temperature. Okay, so now that we know our test is fair, how do we know our measurements are actually good? Well, that brings us to our next big term, accuracy. Accuracy describes how close a measured value is to the true or accepted value. Think of it like aiming for the bullseye on a dartboard. An accurate measurement means you hit that bullseye right in the center. Your measurement is extremely close to the value that is considered absolutely correct.
Let's visualize this with a balance scale. Imagine you have an object, and you know its true mass is exactly 100 grams. If you pop it on a balance and it reads 100.1 grams, wow, that is a fantastic, accurate measurement. It's right on target. But if a different balance measures that exact same object as 115 grams, well, that's not accurate at all. It missed the bullseye by a mile.
The really crucial thing here is that accuracy isn't just about having good tools. It's also about how you use them. For example, say you have a pencil that's exactly 15 centimeters long. If you place one end perfectly at the 0 mark of your ruler, you'll read 15 centimeters. Bullseye. Accurate. But what if you accidentally put the pencil at the very edge of the ruler instead of the 0 mark? You might write down 16 centimeters. That's not accurate, simply because the measuring instrument wasn't used the right way.
But hey, don't worry. Improving your accuracy is super easy when you follow a few simple steps, just like professional scientists do. First, always use suitable equipment for the job. Next, check that your instruments are actually working correctly before you even begin. Always remember to start measuring at the 0 mark, and finally, take your time. Read those scales very carefully. If you do these 4 things, your measurements are going to be right on target.
Okay, let's dive into our third term. This one is often confused with accuracy, but it actually means something quite different: precision. Precision describes how close repeated measurements are to one another. So, while accuracy is all about hitting that bullseye, precision is all about consistency. It basically answers the question, if I do this exact same measurement over and over again, do I get the exact same number every time? Let's see this in action. Say you measure an object 3 times. Your results are 12.4 centimeters, 12.4 centimeters, and 12.5 centimeters. Look at how nicely clustered those numbers are. They show very little variation, which means they are highly precise. Now look at the second set, 11.8, 13.5, and 12.4. These numbers are just bouncing all over the place. That immediately tells a scientist these measurements are much less precise.
Now here is a really fascinating part. You can actually be precise without being accurate. Imagine the true mass of an object is 20 grams. You use a faulty balance 3 times and get 17.1, 17.1, and 17.2 grams. Are you getting the same result over and over? Yes. Your numbers are beautifully grouped together, so they are incredibly precise. But are they close to the true value of 20 grams? Nope. So they are precise but entirely inaccurate. Basically, they are consistently wrong.
And that actually flows perfectly into our final scientific concept for today, reliability. Reliability describes whether an investigation produces consistent results when it is repeated under the exact same conditions. You see, scientists don't just do an experiment once and call it a day. No way. They repeat investigations because sometimes accidental errors happen. Maybe a sudden gust of wind blew or someone accidentally bumped the table. We need to know for sure that we can trust our results.
Let's look at a classic physics example, timing a swinging pendulum. A student measures how long a pendulum takes to swing 10 times. On their first try, they get 12.1 seconds. They repeat it and get 12.2 seconds and then 12.1 seconds again. Because these repeated trials show very similar measurements and the exact same general pattern, we can confidently say these findings are dependable. They're highly reliable.
But let's contrast that with this situation. Imagine you're investigating which paper towel absorbs the most water, but you test each brand only one single time. What if one sheet was accidentally folded a bit differently? What if you left it in the water just a second too long? Because you only did one trial, a tiny accidental error could completely ruin your evidence. Testing it only once makes the whole experiment totally unreliable.
So, how do we make absolutely sure our experiments are reliable? Well, we repeat our measurements. We carry out several trials instead of just doing it once. We use a suitable sample size, and we calculate a mean or average of our results to get a much more dependable final value. But remember that faulty balance scale we talked about? Always keep in mind that a highly reliable result from a broken ruler or scale still isn't accurate. Reliability and accuracy really have to work together as a team.
Wow, what an amazing journey through the quality of science. Just to quickly summarize everything, we use a fair test by changing only one variable and keeping everything else exactly the same. We strive for accuracy by getting as close to the true value as possible. We aim for precision by making sure our repeated measurements are consistent and tightly clustered together. And we ensure reliability by repeating our trials to prove our results can be trusted every single time.
Together, all 10 terms help scientists plan investigations, collect useful evidence, and make conclusions that are supported by their results. So, the next time you carry out a science experiment, remember to ask, what am I trying to find out? What do I predict will happen?
What will I change, measure, and keep the same? Is my test fair?
And are my measurements accurate, precise, and reliable? If you found the video informative, please like and subscribe. Thanks.